and welcome to another episode of Beer for Breakfast ABV. I am Danielle for Marty and Danielle in the morning on 91X. As always, I have my beer drinking partner in crime with me, Brewmaster Paul Segura of Karl Strauss. And we are so stoked to be welcoming Alexis and Cosimo from Original 40 out of North Park. What's up, guys?
Hi. Good afternoon.
Hi, friends.
Cheers.
Great to have you guys on the show. Yeah, cheers.
So hopping right into it, you guys gave us the Nobonos West Coast IPA, 7.9% ABV. This beer is super, super tasty, and it brings back memories. Cosmo, what's the story behind this beer?
So this is an homage. If you were remember the days at Monkey Paw, we had a beer that won at gold medal at GABF the first year called Bonobos. So this is a recipe based on that recipe. Obviously, crop years change, some different maltsters and that kind of thing, but definitely a lot of the same processes and the insane amount of hop additions and different hops and mash hopping that we used in this to really put flavors in there. And just wanted to bring back some of those memories and remember to have a beer that brought us all into the craft community during that time. Paul was obviously around a little before that, but I think a lot of us now really fell in love with West Coast IPAs, and with the hazy thing, it's kind of gotten lost. So nice to bring it back.
The memories are very thick, almost as thick as the mouthfeel. And it brings back very, very pleasant memories. I remember tipping back quite a few of these at the old Monkey Paw, and I'm extremely stoked to see this back again. As are a lot of people when they find out that this is on, you're going to have to beat them away. And after watching this show, they're all going to find out.
I remember brewing something very similar down at your spot and laying all the hops out and having a lot of fun looking at the different additions and doing that.
I remember there being at least a half dozen different varieties or so in this. I kind of taste the Centennial over a lot of them, but maybe you can explain what some of the other ones are.
Yeah, so it's got some of the classic C's. It's got the Chinook, Centennial, and Cascade, as well as Falconer's Flight, which is going to have those involved as well. That's a hop blend that we used in this as kind of the base hop. And then also Simcoe and Amarillo to bring in some of the not so new school anymore, but new school at the time to us flavors, and use that, like I said, from mash hopping, 5 different additions in the boil, and then a true double dry hop where we added at 2 different stages, different temperatures in the fermenter as well.
5 different hop additions in the boil. That's not a boil you can like walk away from and go have lunch. You got to camp out and just
definitely
keep pouring hops in.
So as a non-brewer, you throw those hops in and you do walk away. What's the potential that could happen?
Well, the thing is that as hops are introduced to heat and over time, they transition from releasing their aromas and then flavor to that starting to volatilize off. You're boiling it, it's escaping with the steam, and it converts the alpha acids in the hops into a more bitter form. So the earlier you add hops during the boil and the longer they're in contact with the heat, the more bitter they become and the less flavor and aroma you retain. So by adding them throughout the boiling process, we're able to capture all the different levels and layers of flavor and aroma while having a balanced bitterness that is present but isn't too harsh.
I like that answer.
And I think I think they achieved this, or I'm already like cut off, achieved their objective with that. I mean, you get the bitterness and it comes across grapefruit and a little pine, but also some like nice herb flavors in there. But then like you get the bitterness and you get all the hop flavor. But this beer also has a very sturdy malt profile. Like it's definitely bready and like biscuity as well.
Yeah, we've
a lot of things going on.
We've started using a new maltster here, Skagit Valley Malting out of Washington, and real craft maltster, a lot of flavor, really great power and consistency in their grain as well. But it definitely gives more character than the Bonobos had when we were using some of the bigger brands and really going for the lighter body and letting the hops shine through. So as I said, it's kind of an homage, but it's evolved a bit as my palate has evolved and also what I wanted to drink and what I wanted to bring to the table. So it definitely has a little bit more color and a little bit more malt character, but we did increase proportionally the hops that we used to try and match that as well.
It's great to have you back, man.
It's great to be back.
No, it's totally true. When I went to Original 40, right when you came back and the first kind of crop of your beers came through, I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot what it was like to drink a Cosimo beer. Like, you're such an amazing brewer, and everything that you want to come out in a beer, you somehow make it come out in a beer. You are an asset to the city, and we're so glad that you're back.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be on a small system and have the freedom here at Original 40 to be able to do that and experiment and evolve the recipes, even recipes that we have as kind of our flagships, to be able to start switching some things around in the way of ingredients and in process, and really start to fine tune them into what I'd like to see them become.
Aside from the beer, the service, the atmosphere, the location, like the menu, everything else there is really top notch too.
Yeah, Alexis, can you kind of speak about the brew pub itself and what's been going on?
Sure, yeah. So, we definitely stayed open during COVID, right? Throughout the entirety of the quarantine, whether we were doing the to-go orders, people popping by, showing their support, getting the growler fills, purchase the canning system, which obviously is why we have these beautiful items here today. And, I think we really dug deep and decided that we're just going to fight it out. We're going to grind it out. We're going to give this all we have. And the entirety of the staff that we have has so much love and dedication to this place. And we're really honored that the community believed in us enough to spend their hard-earned dollars here and has continued to support us.
That's amazing. And so I know that, you guys always had that like small back patio, but now you've had that small front patio, but now you've expanded into the parklet, really, really open. Paul and I were there over the weekend, and really, really appreciated the fact that the staff was just super on top of making sure everything was sanitized. People were spacing out. It was definitely a place that I felt safe enjoying a couple of pints.
Yeah, the staff here takes their job very seriously. They work hard, they play hard, but at the end of the day, they understand that, we need to give it all we've got. Other people are working and trying hard too, but we have a high level of service and expectation. And I think that the staff here has such a dynamic personality that I'm very honored that you feel that when you come here.
Absolutely. And you guys have an anniversary coming up, right?
We sure do. So, I think it's very exciting to have this anniversary party, but somewhat stressful because people haven't gathered, right? So you don't really know, are people ready to gather? We are. I'm ready to sit less than 6 feet away from Cos over here. So I think that on Saturday, July 17th at 11 a.m. from 11 to 1, it'll be a ticketed event. And we will be having some fun surprise things I'm not ready to release yet. Stay tuned. But we are in the works of throwing something that I hope is really epic, but at the same time that people are excited and feel safe and comfortable to come to.
Ooh, where do we make sure that we're the first to know about all the details of this awesome party?
So we update our Instagram very regularly. And aside from that, we're collecting emails on our website. And so if you want to be one of the first to know, sign up on our website through our email list. But if you're not following us on Instagram, please do so. And I feel like that's the best way.
I'll be shouting it from the hilltops. We'll get it out on social media as much as possible. But definitely some fun stuff. A new beer, some archived beers, some great food stuff going on. So very soon there'll be some more information coming out about that.
That is exciting. Well, let's move into our next beer. In lieu of flowers is a stout with rose petals, cocoa nibs, and vanilla, coming in at 8% ABV. Yum.
I already took a sip of this. It does not drink like 8%. And I now want another one after having the first one. It really has some nice cocoa and vanilla like flavors right up front, but then there is this like really cool floral thing, like fruity, almost like a Jamaica or hibiscus type thing that kind of is nice and pleasant in the finish.
Yeah, definitely wanted to bring this and highlight it a bit. Once again, being in a brew pub and having the freedom to do these kinds of beers in the small batch, not committing to the large quantities of stuff every time we brew, really allows us to have a diverse lineup here. And you'll always find something new and different, whether it's a one-off keg or a small batch like this on tap when you come in. And with that, what we really like to do is to make beer that you can drink a full pour of. There's a time to have festival beers, as I like to call them, and make stuff so intense that when you drink that 2 ounces of it, you really get the full impression. Or if you're having a beer dinner and you're having a very small pour with food, that you're able to match the intensity of the food. But being here and serving them in this format, there needs to be a certain amount of restraint so that you kind of get the story throughout that 10 ounce or pint pour of something. So what we did here, actually, this is part of a series of beers that we did during quarantine, where I was able to make a stout with some backbone to it, and then break that stout down into 4 different variants. The first of which we did with Nomads. It was a raspberry chocolate beer that was very popular. We did a mole version of it. We did a coconut version of it. And finally, we did the rose and chocolate. So we still have some cans of the mole, and we still have the in lieu of flowers available here. And like I said, it just kind of epitomizes the other side of brewing that we really get to enjoy here. We do always have hazies on tap. We'll have pale ales, we'll have IPAs, we'll have a couple of double IPAs. So those will always be around, and we have a lot of fun and think that we make great products in that category as well. But we're also able to do something like this and really be able to highlight whether it's local ingredients or the season or something like that. So this was a lot of fun because I didn't know where it was going to go. When we had sold the first few stouts to the bottle shops, we asked them what they would like next, and they just challenged us to make something that we had never seen before. I'd seen roses used in a few lighter beers and sour beers, but I'd never seen a rose stout. So we just kept adding organic fresh rose petals to it. We did some steeping of them to make a tea as well, and tried some different forms and kept building the flavor profile until we felt that it was expressing itself, but it wasn't overwhelming.
Nice job on this, man. I would have never thought to add like rose petals to a stout, maybe to a lighter beer like a Goza or something. But then again, like from what I remember about having your beers back in the day, you always were one to push the envelope. I remember seeing some things on the beer board like Squid Ink Goza and things like that. And I remember thinking, I don't know, that just sounds really like it's not going to work, like it's going to clash and everything else. And then I drank it and I went, oh my God, this is really good. And when I look at the can, a stout with like vanilla and cocoa and rose petals, I kind of get that same feeling. But then I drink it and I'm like, oh my God, this is really good. It works.
No, absolutely. If you gave me a beer and you're like, there's rose petals in this, I would be like, what? That shouldn't work. And it totally works. It has a really like soft finish to it. And I don't know if that's from the rose or that's from the vanilla, but it just finishes very soft in my mouth.
Yeah, it's definitely that. We did blend a little of our Black is Beautiful beer into this as well to kind of give it a little bit of a fuller and softer finish on top of the base stout that we had used for the other ones. So this one does have a little bit more backbone than the other variants that we did before, and it was to be able to balance out that floral nature and the amount of cocoa that we did put into it, which of course adds to the bitterness of the stout in most cases.
Well, bravo. I am very impressed with both of these beers, along with all of the other beers that I've had at Original 40. There's definitely a beer for every single beer drinker when they go into the pub.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to be able to do it here and to be alongside so many great breweries in town and be able to feel comfortable putting my beer on tap and putting it in front of someone like Paul and being able to get such great feedback.
Thanks for that kindness. And the cool thing is, like with all the different beer you're putting in cans now, is people actually can take these home if they don't feel like comfortable yet drinking, in public or whatever. Not that your place does any. There's no weirdness there. I mean, you feel comfortable. You guys have done a great job, separating people and everything else. But for those who are still not feeling comfortable, it's nice to be able to grab all these really good beers in cans and go enjoy them at home or wherever.
They loved it so much, they need to take it home. Listen, I got to take this home to my friends, right? I'm going to a barbecue. I'm going to dinner after this. I can't leave without a can of beer. Cosimo.
Exactly.
Encourage people to experiment with these. Take them home, try them with different cuisines, have fun with them, see what they pair with. We have a great menu here and a pretty diverse menu as well. But to take something home like the Millennium Falcon and have it with some different Mexican cuisines or even some Southeast Asian cuisines with the chili, with the cumin, and really have fun with these beers. I love when people do that and seeing that posted or when they come in and getting the feedback on it.
That is awesome. Alexis and Cosimo from Original 40 Brewing, thank you so much for joining Paul and I for Beer for Breakfast ABV. Is there anything you'd like to leave with the peoples?
No.
Not
Enjoy
really.
good beer, support local.
Cheers.
I like that. Mr.
Cheers.
Paul Segura, would you like to leave anything before we go?
It's great having you guys on the show. Much continued success to you. Keep making people happy one beer at a time. And yeah, like Cos said, everybody out there, support your local brewery.
Yes.
Cheers.
And thank you for supporting Beer for Breakfast ABV. This Friday, Paul Segura will be joining myself and Marty on 91X at 9:10 Pacific Standard Time, and we will be drinking some Original 40 beers for Beer for Breakfast. That's this Friday on 91.1 on your radio, or you can download the app for free in the App Store. And as always, cheers to independently owned craft beer and radio in San Diego.
Cheers.
And happy anniversary.
Thank you.